Hello everybody and welcome to Against the Fence. This is the place to be if you're obsessed and passionate about the UFC, of course. And I'm back with another tough review. Last year I did the tough season 29 review. I'm back with a season 30 review. Historic one. We're going to get into it. I can guarantee, let's hope it's a bit of, there's a bit of rivalry between the coaches this time, because it was a bit of nicey-nicey between Ortega and Volkanovski. We all know that Peña did the upset on Nunes in taking the belt from her. Let's hope there's a bit of rivalry going on there. We're going to see it. I can guarantee Peña's going to wind up Nunes all day long. I'm seeing it even in the first episode. I tell you what, she's a very, very vocal coach. I tell you. We're going to get into bits and bobs about the first fight that happened. And a little bit about the first fight, of course. We've got 8 heavyweights and 8 women's flyweights. So let's dive straight into it then. Let's hopefully that you've all watched it. If you haven't, then obviously there's going to be some spoilers. As I mentioned, 8 heavyweights and 8 women's flyweights. Also, just to let you know that Kamaru Usman's brother is on the show. All right, Mohammed Usman. So again, he's not fought yet, but I guess we're all going to be interested to see how he gets on during the show whenever he fights, of course. Just to start us off, as it was a season 30 historic one, Dana White didn't do the fight, like the introduction and things like that. He gave it all to Forrest Griffin. So Forrest Griffin took control. We all know that they're going to get into the house and things like that. So Forrest Griffin took charge. The classic coin toss, which we'll get into in a second. Behind the scenes, Nunes and Peña all had a look at the 8 heavyweights and 8 flyweights, all had a little look at their backgrounds and things, watched some tape, really dived into their backgrounds to try and see who they would want to pick on their teams. Obviously, of course, we didn't know who was going to get the first pick, who was going to get the first fight. Again, that's that coin toss. Again, they all picked their favourite fighters, if, of course, that happens, of course. You never know that someone might pick, Nunes might pick a fighter that Peña wants and vice versa. But the classic coin toss happened and Nunes won the toss. Right, Nunes won the toss and she decided to go for the first fighter, which means that Peña got the first fight. And the first fight that happened, we had at heavyweight, we had Zach Puga, who is 5-0. And he trained with Curtis Razor Blaze, just to let you know. Trains with Curtis Razor Blaze, the heavyweight, of course. He was up against Niall Bartling of Team Nunes, of course. Just to let you guys know, these are the 2 heavyweights that are in the first fight. As I mentioned, both got clean records. On the right, you got Niall, who has finished most of his opponents. And then Zach, the heavyweight that likes to get the decision wins. But again, let's get rid of that for you guys. So, they both had the weigh-ins. Both made weight, of course. Obviously, it's hard to miss weight as a heavyweight. We all know that. Let's dive straight into the fight then, guys. The first round, story of the fight, really. Zach is Niall is a bit of a heavy wrestler. And Zach more of a boxing sort of orientated style striker. Great boxing. The story of the first round, ladies and gentlemen, the story of the first round was Niall constantly trying to go for the takedown and Zach stuffing most of the takedowns is so well. His takedown defense was on point, let me tell you. His takedown defense was there. And every time that he got back to his feet from the decent sprawl that he had, it was literally sprawl after sprawl after sprawl from Zach. And let me tell you, as soon as he got back to his feet, he pieced him up, made him pay for it, made him pay. And even towards the end of the first round, landed a sharp overhand right that really hurt Niall and backed him up. And towards the end of the first round, he literally, story of it, ground and pound from Zach, nearly had him out of there round 1. Proper ground, the ref took a close look at the fight as well. But that was the story of the first round. Niall managed to survive the first round. And then Nunes was saying, for some reason, Nunes, I didn't really like the advice from Nunes. She was constantly saying, go for the takedown, go for the takedown. I'm like, he is going for the takedown. Like, he's just not being successful with it because Zach's takedown defense was on point. As I said at the start of this, Peña is a very vocal coach, screaming at Zach, saying you're doing really well, screaming at him, saying body shots, body shots. Very, very vocal coach. I tell you, a very, very good cornering from Peña. Into round 2, pretty much the same. Niall constantly going for that takedown. Zach stuffing the takedowns, again, making him pay for it. Again, body shots, decent 1-2s, decent jab as well that he had in round 2. Excuse me. And let me tell you, the ref take a very close look at the into the second round, taking a close, as you have a little look there, taking a close look, again, ground and pound, that overhand right, stunned him, took him down, landed that ground and pound again, nearly got the finish again. But it was a story of the fight, really. As I said, Niall trying to go for the takedown, Zach stuffing the takedowns, piecing him up on the feet. I tell you what, he's one to watch in this season, I tell you. And as you can kind of gather from that, we had the winner there of Zach picking up the unanimous decision. Again, they only do 2 rounds in tough, and if it's 1-1, then it goes into a sudden victory, which is the 3rd round. But there was no need for that. Zach, dominant performance, won both rounds in my eyes. Great win for him. Definite great win for him. Again, if any of you watched it, give me your feedback, get in the comments. Let me know what you thought of Zach's performance. Again, I thought it was a great performance, to be honest. Obviously, you don't see many heavyweights constantly go for takedowns, but that Niall was constantly going for the takedown. They were both really tired, though. Again, heavyweights, that's what happens. But as I said, Zach picking up the unanimous decision win. Peña gets control of the picks. Again, let me know your thoughts. Do you think that there's going to be any sort of rivalry between Nunes and Peña? Me personally, I think Peña is going to wind Nunes up. I tell you. So as I said, Peña moves on with 1 victory to 0, and she gets the picks, and she picks the next fight. The next fight is between these 2 ladies. I didn't catch their names. I do apologise. But in the next fight is between women's flyweight, as I mentioned. Remember I said Peña got the pick, so she picked these 2. That is the next fight. Again, I did ask myself a couple of questions, just like in the Tough 29 review. I asked myself a couple of questions coming into it. Looking at it, I tell you, Peña does have the better team in my eyes. She does have the better team. Again, if anyone's in the comments, if you're having a look at the teams, if you've seen it, let me know. Do you think that Nunes has the better team? Me personally, I think that Peña has a stronger team. But again, we can agree to disagree. Get in the comments. I asked myself, like, I've not seen so much just yet, because it is the first episode, of course. I've not seen too much training reviews and things like that. I've not seen too much tapes on each of the fighters and things like that. But again, they do what they did last season, where when the fights happen, they do sort of dive into their backgrounds and things like that, show previous fights of each other. So they showed a little bit of Niall's background, a little bit of Zach's background. But again, I'm probably going to have to watch a couple of episodes to obviously determine if I'm going to choose a favourite fighter, or is there a strong fighter in it. Again, it's only been the first one. But Zach is a very strong heavyweight, I tell you. He's got good striking, as I mentioned, good takedown defence. Does anyone in the chats, do you have a favourite fighter? Like, obviously, I mentioned at the start of the stream, Kamaru Usman's brother, Mohammed Usman's in there. I'm sure most of you can't wait to see him perform. Again, he's an athlete himself. Having Kamaru Usman as your brother, come on now. Like, again, get in the comments. Let me know what you thought of the first episode. Again, I'm going to be live again next week. So, what I did last season was I did a review over 3 episodes. This one's only going to be the first one. It's only going to be 1 episode a week. So it's going to be quite a short little live video, just diving in of the first episode. Diving in and what happened, and as I mentioned, if there's going to be any rivalry between the 2 coaches. Oh yeah, Peña is going to wind Nunes up. I guarantee it. But just to wrap it up, then, really, as I just mentioned, I want to see a bit of tension between the coaches, as we didn't really see it last year. It was a bit of nicey between Ortega and Volkanovski. But as I mentioned as well, Peña is a very she's looking like a very good coach at the moment. Very vocal. Very like screaming at her fighters to do things, but again, So we got Hayes Dog in the chat. Welcome in, buddy. Saying that he lost 380 euros on the Nunes fight. Back when obviously Nunes and Peña fought. Again, there wasn't many people that thought that Peña was going to get the upset. Me personally, I had Nunes all day long. But Peña with her jab, man, I tell you, it was just relentless with that jab. I knew it was going to be a very short sort of stream. Again, just before I wrap things up, again, just get in the comments quickly, just to tell me if you did watch the fight, if there was things that you saw that you liked between the two fighters, anything between that's going to happen in the show. Again, I'll probably talk a little bit more, dive into a lot more in the next episode, because there'll be a lot more to watch. This has been the first one, so again, like, give me time to sort of dive into each and every fighter. I'll have a little look, dive in on their backgrounds and things like that, and I'll get it. I'll get it a nice little dive into proper get it into it next time. But that is all we got time for. It is Tuesday, so me and Sai will be live on Thursday for the People's Picks. So again, if you do have, if you are interested in getting involved in the People's Picks, as you know, in the description below will be the email. Email your it doesn't have to be all of the fights on the main card. It could be 1 or 2 fights on the main card of UFC 274. Just send us in a video of yourself picking who you think is going to win and a little bit of a why. As I said, try and mix it up a little bit. Try and go for the first fight maybe on the card. Maybe Joe Lazar versus Donald Cerrone. Again, that fight's going to be quite close. And then maybe the main event coming. It's entirely up to you, though. Entirely up to you. Yes, Damo's in the chats. Welcome in, buddy. Have you seen the fights leaks at Dana took post? Mate, literally, I was just talking to John about that, buddy. And I think John's maybe going live after me, mate. So I don't know if I need to wrap this up quickly, because Jordan wants to go live and talk about the leaked footage of the fights. Again, it's exciting news, obviously. With a few fights happening. I won't dive into it just yet. I'll let Jordan get into that in a second. Raised Dog again. I didn't like anything about the fight. Yeah, definitely playing around. Definitely playing around in that fight. Definitely. But yeah, Damo. Jordan may be going live just after me. But again, me and Sai will be live on Thursday for the People's Picks. Again, do get your People's Picks in. The email to email it to is in the description. And then, of course, at the weekend, we've got the big watch-along of UFC 274. We got Oliveira versus Gaethje. And then, as I just mentioned, we got Carla Esparza taking on Bug Rose. Again, that's going to be a great rematch, obviously. Carla Esparza picking up the win when them two were in the Ultimate Fighter. Speaking of Ultimate Fighters. But again, they've both improved since. Who's going to pick that one up? Obviously, Carla Esparza, heavy wrestler. Bug Rose herself has got decent wrestling herself. And obviously, we saw in her previous outing against Yan. We saw her take her Yan down and dominate really there. So that's going to be an interesting one. Damo fights are... They are random. But I'll let Jordan get into it. Stop it. You're going to make me dive into it and say a name. All right. But yeah, I'll be back next Tuesday. Obviously, it'll be a lot more planned out and things like that. Again, it's only been the first episode of Tough 30, as I mentioned. I will dive into a lot more detail in the next one. But yeah, keep it locked, guys. Thank you for tuning in. And I'll see you on Thursday with Sai. Or maybe you'll see Jordan in just a minute. Huh? Who knows? All right. Take care, guys. Remember,